Hello everyone, Michi here, and for everybody that is employed, just like me, well actually no, I am unemployed, I am very unemployed, I am making a video about Emiru and Mitsuki, yeah, it's your name, no, Mizkif. Mizkif is the artist, Mizkif, sorry. I'm making a video about this. I don't really understand the whole drama. For what I understand, it is a very serious topic, it's not just oh, he called me this and this other person called me stupid and all of that. I think this actually involves illegal stuff. I always admired this guy named Pyro. I'm going to see a video of him where he actually reacts to it. Emiru's situation is horrible. If he says it's horrible, it must be really horrible. So we're gonna take a look at it and hopefully we can all understand what is going on here, you know? Who better than Pyro to tell us the whole story?
Go full demon time.
Basically, he was upset because I had higher viewership than him, slamming the door.
And I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
He would.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure we will have the full context inside of the video. It's like he was punching the wall and making holes into the wall. I mean, that's a little bit kind of weird. Not even gonna lie. Like that's not something I would personally do.
Throw things in front of me and near me.
She did tell me she got a bruise from it, and I stopped. We cuddled for about 30 minutes.
And he started kissing me in my face. And then
I started to advance to the next stage
he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively.
because I thought that's what she wanted.
Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably seen that the Twitch scene is absolutely imploding now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that it is imploding. I don't know why though. Tell us, please.
Because of what Emiru streamed recently. Mostly with her calling out and exposing Mizkif for their past relationship. Now, at the start of this stream, she spends the first 20 minutes or so talking about the TwitchCon incident, you know, giving some updates on that, where this, like, weird parasocial stalker came up to her, breached security. The guy apparently even fled the state at one point as well.
This guy was able to get really far away from San Diego, allegedly. And this whole time, my manager was like, basically like begging Twitch, like, dude, like, please give us his name. Like, we don't know who this person is. Like, for all we know, he like lives around where Emmy and her roommates live.
But then she switches topic and goes on to say that what she's talking about isn't from like a spur of the moment and has also been checked over by lawyers first. So you know beforehand, this is going to be some pretty heavy stuff.
I've been in contact with a lawyer. I had them review everything that I'm planning to say today because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right.
And what Emiru goes on to talk about, and I'm going to quote directly here.
The psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me. And some of these issues which are...
So, Mizkif, I don't know much about Mizkif. I remember seeing it, and the only, like, let's say, thing that I know about Mizkif is that Tom Init once spoke about him. I think Tom Init said, like, well, it's another streamer, a UK streamer, where he was like...
The worst person I met award. Oh, for me, it's so easy. Go on, Mizkif. Piss me off the twat. For a bit. Oh, I hate it. Have you ever just hated someone based off nothing? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. Stand next to him for a bit, and I've never just genuinely hated every word and movement someone did. I also was very tired and wanted to see my friends. I didn't get to see my friends. I got to see Mizkif. He was giving off all the signals for him to piss off, and I kept sort of going, and standing this way, and then he'd stand there and go, and he'd ask me another question. Like, you don't see, and he asked me some weird shit, like, you don't seem like a happy man. I was like, what do you even say back to that, Mizkif? I don't know you.
So already I don't have an incredible impression of Mizkif, and from what I'm seeing here, yeah, definitely it doesn't seem like my opinion is going to change that much, but let's continue.
Emiru then goes into detail about why she's, you know, talking about this now. Firstly, because she believes that someone else might actually have the misfortune of what she went through.
The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago about withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger or being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it.
First of all, she believes that someone else could actually have the risk of experiencing the same things that she's talking about. And by putting it all out there, it can, stop this from happening. Now, Emiru also goes on to say that she has talked to 3 other people who have also mentioned Mizkif's pattern of behavior. And this apparently was repeated with another person around 3 weeks ago.
I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, to someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything.
And Emiru even claims that Mizkif has been indirectly threatening her to keep quiet, basically, saying that he was going to go and create a smear campaign against her.
He has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers.
I mean, that's insane. I'm assuming the whole thing, she had apparently some bunnies, like the animal, a lot of bunnies, and she was mistreating them or something. Now, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it was part of the campaign that Mizkif supposedly was going to do in case she spoke about anything. I'm siding with Emiru on this one so far, but we'll see.
Close with us back when we lived together,
That's
asking
insane,
them if they would
actually.
join with him, and they all refused.
He
That is so
apparently
insane.
targeted Emiru's friends and co-workers to try to get them on his side. And apparently as well, this smear campaign would involve Mizkif alleging that Emiru would actually kill her own pets, since she's actually had a...
I'm a genius. I am connecting the dots. Jesus, that's so heavy for real. Like, Jesus. I know it seems like I'm not taking it seriously, but I don't know. It's just so heavy topic. Like, I don't want to get sad on video, but it is pretty sad,
of rabbits pass away whilst living with him.
Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him.
Emiru then tries to explain a timeline of events, beginning with her moving in with him at the end of 2021 due to Emiru having problems with stalkers when she lived in Kansas.
I moved in with him, I believe it was the end of...
I feel like one way in which you can get the internet to hate somebody, it's literally when it has to do with animals and mistreating animals. It happened to Hassan, and now it might happen to Emiru. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it is so sad because also probably Emiru was very sad that her bunnies or rabbits, passed away, and now that Mizkif is trying to use them as a weapon to damage her reputation. Like, if somebody did that about any pet that I had or something, immediately I go to the police, and then I go with the person and I slap it like that. That would be so horrible.
Because he offered, and I was having stalker issues in Kansas.
And the two apparently began dating in January 2022, following her joining OTK.
We started dating. We were in a relationship starting January 2022 after I joined OTK.
Now, she says that the relationship was apparently very codependent. Emiru relied on Mizkif for feelings of safety, social life, and her job. And apparently Mizkif was incredibly controlling, deciding what she wore, who she could be friends with, and also when she streamed.
I was very dependent on him for feelings of safety, social life, like my stream, my job, everything. It's not a secret. I think everyone who paid attention knew that he was very controlling over what I wore, to a degree, who I was friends with, and even when I would stream.
She said that this abuse began with smaller things, such as Mizkif even throwing plastic bottles at her, even though she asked him not to. Even apparently throwing his phone at her at one point, giving her a black eye.
He would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruise very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an accident. Like, of course I'm not gonna think that.
But it wasn't until the cover-up allegations back in 2022 where Mizkif
Mizkif has been suspended from OTK's board for lack of empathy and ignorance. My goodness.
Was
Okay.
actually dropped by OTK for allegedly covering up sexual assault committed by one of his friends, Crazy Slick. And Emiru claims that after that, Mizkif's behavior started to get a lot worse.
After that happened, his behavior started getting a lot worse, which, I mean, I suppose it makes sense. You know, he was very stressed.
After a lot of time of the two streaming at separate times, what Emiru believed was actually a bid to make sure both of their streams perform well, so they actually weren't, you know, pulling viewership away from each other.
He never wanted to stream at the same time as me. And to me at the time, it made sense because, you know, I was like, well, of course, like, you know, we share a lot of community members. If we're live at separate times, we're both going to perform better. You know, it makes sense.
They did have a crossover, and this was in 2024, the Rust Kingdoms event. And whilst Emiru thought that this would be a good time to hang out with everyone, when she checked her DMs with Mizkif, apparently he was saying that he was going to himself because she had a higher viewership than him.
And then I check my Discord messages, and he's messaging me. He's saying, like, Emmy, I'm gonna KMS, I waited so long for this, etc. Basically, he was upset because I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership.
Well, that is so insane, you know? That already strikes me as very, very weird, you know? Like, what type of person Mizkif truly is? If I have this source that I kind of trust, which is Tommy in it, and he's saying, I just saw Mizkif and I immediately hated it. I don't know why. It just struck me as odd or something. Oh, I almost believe him, you know? And then you got something weird like this that goes along with a person that would just strike you as weird. And then it's like, oh no, this person just told me that he was gonna kill himself. Probably as a joke, not in a serious way, not that he was actually going to do it, but more like joke in a very heavy way just because somebody else, and especially her partner, had more viewership than him. You know, instead of this person being like happy that we're both doing pretty good actually, it's getting mad that I had more viewership. That's kind of silly, you know, that's kind of odd. Yeah, it makes you wonder what type of thoughts Mizkif has, you know?
And whilst he ended his own stream, Emiru actually had to keep going, all while Mizkif was walking around the house intentionally nearby her. He began slamming doors so loudly that it was even picked up on her stream.
Like, we haven't pillaged. Like, she was coming.
And even broke the front door, meaning that the lock wouldn't work.
And slamming the door.
That's
so
insane.
So loud that my noise gate can pick it up. So even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore.
And then Emiru left the stream to go and check on Mizkif. And apparently he said that he hated her and all of their friends, and all they did was take from him.
I get up and I go talk to him. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, I hate all of you guys. Like, all you guys do is just take from me. And like, I'm just done.
What age is Mizkif? Is he actually younger than me and I just don't know? 30 years old. I mean, that's insane. I was hoping that he was like 18. Well, not 18, but he was like 20 years, maybe. I don't know what was I hoping for, but yeah, 30 years old, that's absolutely insane to be like, no, you guys are stealing my viewers. I am so mad at it. It's just... like, everybody, like, Mizkif is already a very privileged person. Like, he's already performing so well. He already has enough money. So to be like, oh, I don't want anybody else around me to perform well, that's a little bit, I don't know, too envious. Like, why would you not want for everybody around you to be in a really cool position? I don't understand that.
Just done. And I was like, is this like really happening because of rush drops? And he was like, I don't know what else to do. He was like going off on me, like basically saying that he hated me.
And it seems that this was basically the catalyst for all of the that was about to go Emiru's way. Next week, she spoke on stream about moving out.
But the very next stream, I went live about a week after that, and I announced that I was planning to move because I knew that I would have to move. So I was like, okay, I have to go live
sorry,
so that, you know, kind of force myself to commit to it.
And this apparently is when the domestic started to begin. Emiru described how he would break furniture, he would throw things near her, destroy walls, and when Emiru would actually lock herself in her room, apparently he would like be banging on the door screaming at her.
Destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy walls. Again, you can go.
Yeah, that's what
see
we
this.
saw in the beginning of the video. Like, he was literally punching the walls and destroying them, making holes in the wall. For me, I don't personally feel the need to do any of that, but I do know that there's people that do need like a physical output to get rid of stress and all of those that type of things. And I guess it's acceptable in a way, but you're Mizkif, you have a lot of money, you have resources, you're in the United States. There must be a place where you can go and actually do that. You can search for help of a professional or go to those places where they have like a variety of things. They give you a bath, it's a safe place, safe environment, and you can just destroy things, you know, and you get rid of that stress physically, I guess. But if not, even if not, like you can, there's other ways, right? You don't gotta break the walls, you know, because you're going to scare your partner, you're going to scare whoever is living with you, or just scare anybody, you know. So you could just go on in an empathic way about it, like, you know, I really need this physical output to get rid of the stress. I'm going to grab like a pillow or something that doesn't matter that much, something that doesn't make a lot of noise, something that will not be forever there destroyed, something more normal, you know.
Some of his VODs in his bedroom, the holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me.
He would also apparently drive incredibly dangerously and unsafe. I'm talking like 150 miles an hour. And this is when they were in the car together as well. One time, apparently...
Driving in a way that feels unsafe for the person that is at your side or is your companion or whatever, whoever it is, like, it's just wrong, you know. Like, it can be pretty dangerous, you know. Like, we don't realize, but if he would have made a mistake while driving at that speed, that would have been it. So it was pretty close, actually.
Saying to her that they were both going to die. Now, obviously, saying something like that is absolutely unhinged, and putting a partner in that situation is just
Unhinged, dude.
horrendous.
That's the right
now,
word,
most people
Pyro.
would think he would say something like that because of just this build-up of anger and resentment. But apparently, the main reason for him saying that was because Mr. Beast invited another streamer to a video instead of him.
He was on his phone and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video, and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about while doing it.
Apparently, as well, he would scream at Emiru when she was...
You know, I honestly... all the Mizkif information that I have is from this video, so I don't want to be that quick to judge him as the most horrible person ever. From what I'm understanding here and from the Tommy Init interaction, it seems like Mizkif just thinks that he deserves the world just because he was born, you know? Like, Mr. Beast didn't invite me, okay, I'm supposed to be the main protagonist, I gotta go. Like, what if Mr. Beast didn't invite you? Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? I don't understand. And also, just to speak like to Tommy Init in the way that he did, like, you don't seem like a happy person. Like, who are you to say that to Tommy Init? Like, just be normal, you know, to Tommy Init. Like, it does seem pretty weird. Also, the fact that he was like, you know, I'm very mad at the fact that my partner and my friends are benefiting from me being famous. Like, what's the problem with that? Isn't that good? Didn't you become famous to actually be able to improve the people around you? Did you do it for yourself?
Sleeping, blaming her for the reason that he felt insecure.
Other things would happen, like I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that it was all my fault that he felt insecure.
He would throw things and he would start yelling at her if Emiru's videos actually outperformed his.
He threw his phone at the
Yeah, again, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, he's siding with the perpetrator or anything, but you guys have to understand that the both people that three people that I've seen speaking against Mizkif are Tommy Init, Pyro, and Emiru, which I believe them. But can he really be this bad as they're describing? Maybe. And judging by this video, yeah, I would say yeah. I don't understand, you know, that I guess that's the main thing that I'm trying to say. That's the point. I don't understand why him being so privileged would still want this type of problems, you know? Why? I do believe that he won't, like, he did these things, but why would he do that? Like, is he just absolutely insane and unhinged? Why would you want to ruin or to live your lives, your so privileged life, in a bad way? Like, why don't you just live calm, Mizkif, please, Jesus?
Dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better.
And apparently the situation got so bad that on some nights, Emiru
That
would
seems
actually sneak out the
egotistical.
house and go to Esfan's house.
Very ego-driven, like, oh, your video is having more views than mine.
Another streamer. And then once Mizkif found out about this, he headed over to Esfan's house and basically chewed her out.
I would sneak out and I would sneak into Esfan's house. Esfan didn't know why I was doing this. He saw me a couple times. I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna go take a nap in your guest room. He'd be like, yeah, that's fine. He figured out where I was going, and he would go over to Esfan's house to keep telling me off.
Apparently, one instance, he did want to yell at her, but then he realized that someone else that wasn't Emiru was in the room as well, so he apparently just completely switched up his tone.
The time that he did it, I was laying in the guest room bed, and one of the roommates in that house had come to see, like, why I was crying, and they were standing in the corner. And Miz, he came in, and he was very physically aggressive. He was like, Emmy, like, what are you doing? Like, angry. And then as soon as he turned and saw this other person standing there, he instantly, like, deflated and changed his tone. He was like, oh, Emmy, I was wondering where you were. Like, are you coming home?
Now, when she moved out, she basically hoped that they could move on from what they went through, you know, to be cordial to each other. Because again, like two high profile individuals dating, it can be incredibly dangerous because, you know, there are so many business contacts, so many friends, friend groups. And then you'll obviously have the fan base as well that try to do their own kind of investigations. You know, if you're in a relationship like that as a streamer, it is very public. She then says in October, which I assume is 2024, the two had separated, but Mizkif actually wanted to have one last conversation with Emiru for closure. And when he arrived, Emiru was apparently crying because just the, you know, high levels of emotions with something like this. And Mizkif was holding her when she cried, which you would think would be some kind of support. But then Emiru claims that he actually forced himself on top of her and put his hands down her trousers.
He came to my house, and I was
That's heavy.
crying like crazy.
That is
because
pretty heavy.
He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch.
Well, what was she crying? Let me listen to that again.
And put his hands down her trousers.
He came to my house, and
Yeah?
I was crying like crazy because he started to try to comfort me by hugging me.
Well, I think in the editing, Pyro Cynical just removed that part. I think I will assume that it's not important for this. She was crying for X reason, I assume. Whatever, it's fine, you know, it doesn't matter really.
While I was sitting on the couch. I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. He tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And,
That's insane.
I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me.
And she claims that when she screamed and jumped off, he didn't even apologize. He just said he felt like he did something wrong, and then he left.
And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying.
Now, Emiru...
That is insane, you know? Because I've actually known people like this in real life. And I always wonder, what the hell is wrong with you? Not necessarily that they did something physical in that type of way. Not like groping somebody or anything like that. But I mean in the sense that people that want to be the victim in absolutely everything, you know? Like, the other person is crying, they go, oh, you're okay? Oh, sorry, I did something wrong. And then they start making themselves feel bad. So that the person that is feeling bad actually has to stop that and go for the other person. And I find that pretty insensitive. I guess some people have this mentality of maybe like, well, maybe this person will take care of me, so now it stops feeling bad. But most of the times it really comes across as such a horrible move, you know? Such an unpathetic move. I think most of the times it's probably not with good intentions. Just make it about yourself in a way.
She's been very tight-lipped about this. She didn't really want to talk about it, and I don't think she has talked about this before, especially on this public level. But she says that Mizkif would actually tell her what to say if other people asked. Like, for example, that Mizkif was never physically abusive because he never actually hit her.
He'd also always hammer into me how he never physically because he never hit me, and he would coach me and tell me to tell people or other streamers who were asking about it because they were concerned. He would say, tell them that I never hit you. Make sure that they know that I never hit you.
Now, if what she's claiming is true, it just seems that Mizkif was like incredibly insecure among other really bad traits as well. Like, for example, how he would apparently call
literally.
her up, something as simple as playing as the...
That's insane. Like, I think Pyro is nailing it here, because it's like, what even is on its mind? You know, all the things that he did about, oh, this person has more viewership than me, his videos are getting more views than me, and getting mad at that, that's insecurity, but not just regular insecurity. That's dangerous insecurity levels. It's egotistical and insecurities and a lot of weird things going on psychologically there. Yeah, it's weird
as well. Like, for example, how he would apparently call her up, something as simple as playing as the same class in World of Warcraft, telling her to not do that because apparently people might think that Emiru plays the game better than him.
Often message me.
What do you mean?
In the middle of my streams and berate me for things like playing the same class as him in WoW because he thought it would make people think that I was better than him.
And then she does actually show
How can I not tank as warrior in dungeons? Because you are in a tank? When I said I don't want to be tank, I meant I don't want to tank in raid, which is still true. I don't know what tank means. I don't know what raid means. I don't know what game even is this. Is this League of Legends? I don't know. You do not need to tank in dungeons. Dungeons and Dragons, something like that? I don't know. So I just... Now I'm going to get so much non-stop. Well, no, I didn't understand any of this. Maybe it is what Pyro already explained, or maybe he will explain it right now. I didn't.
Their messages
I don't
of him
understand
guilt
this.
tripping and harassing her just for playing World of Warcraft. He would also
Emmy is better, okay. Yeah, he was very insecure about his literal girlfriend being praised by other people. It's weird because for me, I have my girlfriend, you know, and when I do a live stream on TikTok or something in Spanish and she's with me on the live because I invited her or something, I almost want people to be like, we want her, not you. You go away to me, right? Like, you, Michi, get out of here. We want your girlfriend, not you. I almost feel beautiful. It is a beautiful feeling, you know, to be like, my community is accepting my partner in a beautiful way. That's beautiful. I don't know. Why would he get so mad about it?
Dying stream and brand.
And he would say that it was my fault that his stream was dying because
What?
most of his viewers liked me, and whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because they knew that me and him were together privately.
And then on top of that as well, he'd like be really just openly antagonistic.
What? Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because...
Eh?
And whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because they knew that me and him were together privately.
Well, isn't that good? That if he was hitting another person, like, I don't understand if this is me just not understanding English. Like, if he flirts with another girl on stream, people would not take it seriously because they knew he had a girlfriend. Well, that isn't that good. Am I missing something here? Why was he flirting in the first place? I don't understand.
And then on top of that as well, he'd like be really just openly antagonistic towards other streamers. Not even ones that he had beef with. Like, these were people that were basically only nice to him.
He would say horrible things about other streamers in Austin, like, I quote, "I hate everyone here. You are all useless to me. You're worthless to me because it does nothing for my stream anymore to collab with any of you."
I don't want to praise myself up or anybody else. Sometimes I am like, for real, maybe you have had this feeling. Didn't you ever got to see this YouTuber or streamer where it's like, man, this guy seems to be so bad and ungrateful. Why don't people just choose me? You know, just give me half of what he has and I'll be happy with that.
You know, had enough and basically started to straight up ignore him. And then one time she actually said to him that she could now see things for how they were. This apparently caused like a huge personality shift. He switched up his tone completely. He became super apologetic and empathetic.
And I basically told him that I felt like I could finally see things for what they were. And he started panicking and he was super apologetic and he was saying he didn't want to lose me, which wasn't the first time that he like did something like that and was like, you know, basically begging me not to leave.
All of this led to Emiru just, you know, saying that she's had enough and completely cutting contact with him. And the two actually haven't spoken since January this year. But with everything that Emiru has talked about so far, you can probably guess that this didn't work. Apparently, he's tried to contact Emiru 40 times.
He has attempted to contact me over 40 times individually this year in individual texts, Discord messages, Instagram DMs, and phone calls.
So from any single way you can think of, he has done it, you know? He has even hit the email. That's insane. Well, I think we're gonna leave it at that for now. I think the video has gone too long. Maybe I'll do the part 2. Let me know if you guys want to see that. It's definitely a serious topic. It's not a fancy type of drama. It's a sad one. It is one that involves literal illicit behavior. So let's take it seriously. I think we have done it in a very serious and respectful manner. But I do want to know about this topic because it is something concerning the streaming world, and I've been submerging a lot in the streaming world. I want to know and understand it better, and I guess I also have to understand the bad parts about it, so I gotta know about this. See ya.